Welcome back to Advis After Hours, a podcast focused on the intersection of innovation, finance, and community. Today, we had the pleasure of sitting down with Lindsay and Neda, co-founders of Swelly, who just invented the world's best water scooter. Let's join their story now. Appreciate you guys coming in today and stopping by to talk about Swelly. I feel like this has been a long time coming. I met Tim, probably your husband, probably 3 years ago now. And it's funny, we were catching up and he was like, have you heard about Swelly and what Lindsay and Neda are doing? And I was like, no, tell me about it. And obviously jumped to the chance to have you guys on.
Well, thank you so much for having us. We've been looking forward to it as well. We are the creators of Swelly. We've been at it for a long time in order to bring the world's first and best water scooter for kids to the market. And it has been a wild ride, to say the least.
We formally and publicly launched our product in May of 2025.
That's right. Wow.
So it's really only been a few months. And it's been a wild roller coaster. And the good thing was we feel fortunate that we have our own testing unit as amongst our families.
That's right.
We do. 5 children in our exact target demographic.
Amazing.
Between the two of us.
Amazing.
And they were testing everything for us. And they just loved it so much. And we loved it so much. And so,
and whether they liked it or not, they became Swelly models and, testers and everything else. So it's really been not just the two of us, pouring everything into this. It's been such a labor of love, but our families as well, which has made it that much better, I think.
Yeah.
So I've seen a little bit and heard about the product. Can you describe exactly what Swelly is as a brand and current product?
So Swelly is a motorized water scooter for kids. And when we say water scooter, I think that's a bit of a misnomer because it has nothing to do with using your feet. It's truly a handheld propulsion device meant to be used in the pool. So if you still have questions, go to our website, www.swelly.us, or we're on Instagram at swelly.us, because most people, like I said, have no idea, haven't seen anything like it before. But if you see it in real time and you see the joy it brings to the kids using it, it's pretty fun.
Right.
Not to toot our own horn, but it's a fun thing, and our kids have had the best time with it.
Yeah. Once you see it, you get it.
Yes. The idea was originally born in that I had seen kids using a diving apparatus to be used by adults in up to 200 feet of water, but it wasn't fun. It wasn't a product to be used by kids. It didn't look like a toy. I had no idea whether it was even safe for kids to use. So that's truly seeing kids zip around the pool using this. I couldn't stop thinking about the idea. And that's when I brought it to Neda because I've always valued her opinion so much. And like I said, we've bounced different things off of each other throughout the years. And she, to her credit, saw the idea immediately. She, I think, is a visionary, whereas where I might have brought that idea to a million other people and not even having seen what I was talking about, she really got the idea. But I also think that's attributable to the fact that they too are a water family and spend so much of their time together outside, out on the lake and in the pool. And, but like I said, I feel really grateful for that because I even, had brought it up to, a friend or Tim I don't think anyone was viewing it through the same lens.
Shared vision. Yeah. The Swelly name, I think it's a great brand. It stands out, kind of pops to a lot of people. Where did that come from?
We workshopped in the beginning. I probably still have the list somewhere. So many names. God knows how many names. And Swelly really stood out to us as something that was fun. We really liked that it kind of embodied the swell of a wave. And as a brand, we really wanted to be about making waves. And for those, one of our kind of catchphrases that's always stuck with us is Swelly is for everyone, for those who swim with the tide and for those who don't. It makes me laugh now because one of the front runners for the name, which I still can't say without laughing.
We have to use it for something.
I still can't say it without laughing. So thank goodness that we went with Swelly, because we also thought it would lend itself well to other products.
Right.
And thus, even as you've seen with our sunglasses, now it's kind of a spinoff with the Swellies. And
wait, you got to say what it was, though.
Okay, no. So now we have to.
Should we say it together?
Yeah,
we don't have to post it. You gotta tell me.
It's the Barracuda. See,
I
kind of love it though.
The Barracuda.
It's very specific to the product.
Right. And
But
again,
it
we're
is kinda
water
fun.
families, so for us, it was like so
the
on
funny
point.
like spelling and stuff, and so but
Yeah, a couple extra like O's in there, maybe.
the Barracuda.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So needless to say, I'm glad we landed on Swelly.
Yeah, and it's not just coming up with a good name, right? You have to, from an IP perspective, make sure it's available,
Right.
safe,
Right.
So we were just very fortunate that we thought of and were able to then follow through with obtaining that as a protected name for ourselves.
I actually got a question fed to me from Tim.
No.
He said, who's the best content creator in the families?
Tim, you are. If you're watching this,
shout out.
Tim wanted a shout out. Oh man, that content creation part though is a beast. So we're so grateful for the Tims who are helping us.
Okay.
Everyone who's helping us.
Why is he the best? Is he behind the camera? Is he in front of the camera?
He has really good, inspirational ideas that he'll be able to then execute. I mean, whether it's on a family vacation or what have you. But I have to give Neda a true shout out, because she is, you are a lot better at social media than I am. I mean, we both have our strengths and weaknesses. And let me say, if it weren't for Swelly, I'm not a social media person at all. Mm-hmm. And it's so interesting to us to see what actually resonates with people versus, something that we think is such a phenomenal thing to put out there that just doesn't seem to hit.
Crickets.
So,
and that's something you don't expect might take off.
Right.
To take it a step further, though, she's giving me too much credit. I think this is the beauty of our team, Lindsay and I. She's the more conscientious person, thinks things through, thinks of the outcome through too. I'm probably more of, I don't know, hothead's the right word. That's probably not the word I'm looking for. I just don't overthink things, and I'm careful to not overthink things. When I catch myself, I put a stop sign in my head and I say, stop overthinking it.
You're better at executing, whereas I'm the more reserved, and I take time to really think about things, and, you'll step in and it's time to go. It's time to get things done. So
which does well in the social media world, because something that maybe takes 2 seconds to put together ends up getting so much more traction than these really highly developed
some
concepts.
of my brainchild.
You could overthink that stuff all day. That's the thing.
Sure.
And you don't know what's going to work. And I think even, the people that are great at it, they don't know what's going to work and what's not. So I think that's cool that you must want to get more kind of frame out the story too, but you both must trust each other a lot too. You have different mindsets, but they're able to still make decisions on time frames and make things happen instead of just butting heads all the time.
I think that's been one of the biggest gifts of Swelly, is just how well we work together. And I had for so long looked for something, my next project, what was I going to pour myself into? And it really kind of seemed to us to be fortuitous that we were able to bring this together. And like Neda said, that we trust each other implicitly, because is it all rainbows and roses along the way? Absolutely not. But without that trust, we would be nowhere.
We're so different, and yet we do have so much in common.
Complementary.
Do you know the backstory?
Let's get into it. That's exactly where I'm going. So why do you trust each other implicitly? And when did that relationship start? Tell me the background.
Do you want to say it?
Should I say it? You go.
Okay. So I'm actually from Winter Park, and I went to UF for undergrad and law school. So I'm a double gator. And after law school, I was recruited by Winder Weedle Haynes, Ward and Woodman. And I had clerked for them for 2 summers, and they gave me an offer. And that's where I met Tim. And I was doing the serious attorney job. And I mean, I liked it. My family does a lot of real estate. My husband and I still to this day do a lot of real estate investment and some development. And so doing real estate law was awesome. But I think the corporate world is just not a really good fit for me. And so I was always eager to try to break out of that mold. But the best part about that was A, the Winterweedle family. I'm still so close with the firm. And B, I met Lindsay through Tim because Tim was a partner there.
Yes.
And that's how we connected.
Yeah.
And if you want to take it over from there.
Yeah. So we met when Neda was still a summer associate and I was just a baby lawyer at the time. I don't know what it was. We just had this immediate, like we recognized kind of like a kindred spirit sort of thing. And I practiced for years at a big firm as well. Or a few big firms, I should say, and then decided to take some time off after having kids and, always kept myself busy, but really was kind of tormented as to what I would do next. I just was constantly thinking about it and didn't really know if I wanted to get back into the practice of law because I always did litigation work and decided essentially the closest I would get would be in-house work. But the two of us always kind of, I would say, kept within each other's worlds. And we were always friends, but we would touch base every now and then and bounce ideas off of each other. And so we always kind of knew it would come together. It would just be a matter of when. And I think to this day, we're grateful that we didn't sign a lease together on a property pre-COVID, like right as COVID was about to hit. I think we dodged a bullet on that one. So I think
that was another venture. You guys,
that was another thing that we were working on. And I think we both really value each other's opinions. And so we've workshopped different things along the way. And this has been kind of our baby.
I love that story. And you can tell, so you both must be pretty entrepreneurial. Obviously we're sitting here, but also, you both recognize that in each other a little bit and been working towards this and tried a few things, it sounds like. So it's cool that we're here. What do you think, looking back, why do you think y'all are that way? What do you think if there's anything from your background, childhood, life circumstances that makes you want to take chances or have ideas?
For me, I think I've always been entrepreneurial and always knew I wanted to work for myself. So like the earliest memory I have is stealing all the towels in our house and creating a towel business. I mean, I was like a baby then. No, I'm dead serious.
A little monopoly.
It was a commodity. Everyone needed towels. So God bless my dad and grandpa because they were always like patiently coming and renting it for like 5 cents or whatever. Great. Then my mom and brother would like steal it when I was sleeping. So I'm serious. And then like I remember wanting a cash register for my birthday instead of like a normal gift. So that was always cute. My
just kind of
mojo.
Yeah,
I had like a dating website when I was in college, and then had
I
like
remember this.
Yeah,
manual.
Yep. It's still around actually.
Yeah.
Like my goal is to pass it on to my daughter one day. So this is where I do my best work in an entrepreneurial spirit or like arena. I'm Persian, so it was sort of a natural path to either become a doctor, a lawyer, or engineer. So I did those to kind of please my parents. But I'm so grateful I did because even with Swelly and the regulatory compliance work that we have to navigate right now, I don't know how we would have done it on our own without it. We would have just had to hire out, which would have been a fortune. And instead, these are the tools that we have learned over the 10 years of practicing. To combine 20 years.
Yeah. For me, I think it was a little different. I always dreamed about doing something on my own and definitely tapping into that more creative side that I had, but couldn't really harness appropriately. So it really, like I said, I think it took finding, all the stars kind of aligning because I went to law school knowing that I could do it. And my dad always encouraged me to stay in school as long as possible. So I always used to tease him that I was going to become an MD-JD because why not? If that's what the family is encouraging, then but yeah, I always wanted to be my own boss, but I would also say I'm fairly risk averse, which is, makes being an entrepreneur a bit difficult at times, but also why our partnership works and that we've kind of gone all in on this and we're willing to bet on ourselves.
shout out to Lindsay. This is how I always explain like our partnership. I'm like, she was a valedictorian of her class. Okay. Like this girl, she is on top of it. She'll like send me 5 texts for a meeting that we have. And I'm like, girl, I know.
Just gotta make sure.
Imagine how many texts you said you did for this one. Like, do you know where we're going?
I mean, if I don't accept my calendar invites, then I'm just going to keep updating the reminders.
Yes. Mm-hmm. We've sort of rubbed off on each other in the best way possible. And it's just been like this. And I love that we kind of like we're like, okay, this is a you job, Lindsay, or she'll be like, this is a you job, Neda.
For sure.
A lot of people, I feel like are on one side of the fence or the other with working with friends. And obviously y'all have something to figure out. We just talked about that a lot. Do you think it's better, or obviously y'all are in the camp of working with friends?
I will say, I mean, just to like be totally transparent, we've always loved each other and always kept in touch, just as Lindsay said.
Mm-hmm. I guess that's
mutual respect, but we never, our circles have never been that, we have different social circles. So I can't.
With overlapping circles.
For sure.
Right. But I agree with you that we perhaps have become best of friends since we talk to each other, constantly, morning, noon, and night. But I think that that's really helped us because we didn't start the journey.
Yeah. And the reason I even mentioned that is because I don't want to speak to 2 people who were like best friends before they joined the business together.
I think that's different.
Our bond right now has been because of Swelly, and before it was more of like, friends in different circles, and obviously Tim and
definitely
our husbands got along, so that was awesome.
And kids similar ages, which has been fun.
Well, that was my other part to that I love is y'all are moms doing this and figuring it out, and that's a lot of work and a lot to balance. And I think it's just super inspirational, and why I wanted y'all to come on is because I think there's a lot of other people in your shoes, other women that are thinking about an idea and want to, figure out how to take the steps to make it happen. That's what I hope to unpack more today, and what y'all did. But how is it balancing being a mom and having a business?
I appreciate you saying that and asking the question, because some days it seems impossible, and some days it's like, we're flying high and on cloud 9 and everything in between. But I would definitely say that one of the biggest compliments that we've gotten is, are things like that. People saying that it is inspirational that we not only had an idea, but that we went for it. Because how many people, I have ideas all the time. Right. Sometimes Neda literally has to be like, I can't handle any more of your ideas. Let's
I can relate to that.
Pause that for now. So, really, I think it's a matter of timing, and then finding that, whether it's a partner to support you and work through that journey with you. And to that end, we actually spoke at one of our kids' schools recently about being an entrepreneur and not just having an idea, but how it takes the constant showing up every single day and really working toward that goal of getting your idea out there.
And I gotta say, it takes a village, right? Like,
absolutely,
when we're traveling to visit manufacturers, et cetera, our husbands and parents are stepping in
huge ways.
In huge ways. We couldn't do it without them. I don't know how single parents do it. I mean, I the most respect for single parents. But also Lindsay and I both being moms, we get each other. So if one day she's like, Neda, I have this like volunteering for turkey trot or whatever. Right. Like, I'm like, you go, girl. I am not volunteering today. Like, more power to you. So that's been awesome. I don't know how it would be if one of us wasn't a mom, and then the expectations, or even a wife, or even a daughter, So that's been really great. I will also say that being in a business that's aligned with our goals. So like for me, my family is just number one. Yeah. And I know it's the same for Lindsay, our faith and family. So having a business that's just structured on basically family fun in the sun is the dumbed down version of what we're doing, right? Yeah. It aligns with our values, and it kind of comes. I mean, yes, it's a lot of work. We have late nights. We're working on different time zones all the time, but we're doing what we love. So you don't really feel like it's that much work. There is some boring stuff like user manuals and et cetera, but most of the time pretty fun.
But you're doing those because of everything else you said. You're already aligned on everything else and the values, and you remember why you're doing it. And I think you kind of just answer. I like to always ask, what's your why? And it sounds like that's it. I mean, to some extent, do you have anything else to add to that? Sounds like alignment of your faith and family and fun, but.
For me, the third one is totally it. Faith, family, and fun. Family is just everything to me. I mean, everything.
It's true. And I think that we've been so intentional in terms of what we have put out there. And we are not just, this isn't the end for us in terms of, we started with Swelly. We really wanted to put us on the map in terms of the original water scooter for kids. But that is not the end goal. And we really want to become a family lifestyle brand. So all the products under the Swelly umbrella will follow suit, and we expect a certain level of excellence, I'll say. And so we've sifted through God knows how many things in terms of, deciding and being very intentional about what we want to bring next.
What were some of the practical first steps of making that come to life? What did that look like? And design, where do you find someone to design it? Did you design it yourself? What kind of, obviously, of the legal background, which was a little bit of a cheat code. Walk us through that.
Fair. Okay, I'll say this. Okay. I think that, not to get too legal since you already touched upon that, but I would, for advice to someone else, I think protect your intellectual property. So having a good intellectual property attorney to help you. And
if I can, I was going to say, if I can hop in here, we were able to do an incredible amount of heavy lifting ourselves when it came to the legal side of things. But even with the IP stuff, that's where we truly had to realize that we couldn't do it all ourselves. We did do some of it, but we did work with a good friend and IP
Amber
attorney,
Davis,
Amber
shout
Davis,
out. She's the best.
Who was incredible just because, given our backgrounds, it was, you have to realize when it's time to call in.
Putting together a good team, and she being one of them. So I can putting together a good team. Yeah. And then we'll see next step. And, okay, so I'm totally of the mentality, just do it. It doesn't have to be perfect. I know this has been said and done before, but actually practicing that, it's like a game changer. Do it. Right. Even if it's not really done. You've said you're doing it, so you're going to do it.
One of the biggest things for us is just, at first, it was nothing sexy. It was nothing fun. It was just an incredible amount of research on our part.
So true.
So it was just all the behind the scenes work that nobody saw us doing for ages. And then when we finally brought Swelly to life, I think people were a little bit like, whoa, this is totally coming out of left field. Where is this coming from? And how the heck did you guys possibly do this? Because no one sees all the stuff that you're doing. You're
in stealth mode for a while.
Right. No one saw all the behind the scenes.
Yeah. Well, and also just being the first in a field has its perks and issues, right? So the perks are that it sold itself, it hadn't been seen before. So it was easy to become viral on social media, which was a huge part of our success, or is a huge part of our success. It's a product that sells itself, right? Versus a product that you really have to work on the marketing. We could take it to a resort and we have buyers immediately who see it and are like, whoa, what's that? Right. And so then I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, but the bad thing about that is probably the compliance part, because it is a water toy. It is for kids. Right. So being the first one, I mean, there are laws and regulations that are changing because of us and that we're constantly having to keep up with. So, I like being the first, but I also being the first is a little nuts.
Right.
So there's a lot of research in that. You want to make sure you're not wasting your time and money creating a product that's not going to pass regulations and things like that. And
for sure.
Right. Yeah. It is tough being the first when the rules don't even, do they apply? Do they not? And that's all part of what we had to sift through, just because there was nothing else out there to compare it to. And that's wonderful, but at the same time, a little bit
And now it's constantly evolving. So we have to constantly be keeping up with that.
So it sounds like a big barrier to entry for anyone else. You got to figure out this whole part first, and then actually design. How did it go? Actually design. You're creating something that didn't exist. How do you explain that to someone to then go and make it correctly?
Well, so remember that we're not going to take credit for the idea. As we mentioned, there was a product for it. Yeah. So just being able to use that as an example helped us facilitate what
we know a jumping off point.
Right. We know the parts and pieces that make this together. Now, how do we make it lighter? How do we make this safer? How do we make this more compact? So I guess having something to compare it to is important. Right.
That's fair. Yeah.
Putting it into more tangible terms.
We wanted something that kids would gravitate toward. Any sort of diving apparatus that I had seen, it didn't look fun. It looked like a tool. It looked like, like other diving equipment, and that's not fun for a kid. So we did want that kind of splash effect where you would see it at the pool and say, oh my gosh, what is that? And we very intentionally chose that bright orange Pantone so it would be seen, on land and in the water. And that's the Swelly signature.
You mentioned going viral. What's the story on that? How did that happen initially?
It was before we were even ready to really go crazy, right? Because we don't know much at this point at that time about supply chain and demand, et cetera, right? And we think we know because, as I mentioned earlier, our kids were our testers and they loved it. So we're kind of like, you loved it, everyone loved it. Yeah. And they're tough critics.
Yeah, so that's good. That's all good.
But again, we still didn't have that knowledge. So what happened was a neighbor of Lindsay's actually reached out to the Toy Testing Sisters, which is an account on Instagram who specialize in showcasing toys and reviewing them. Perfect. And then they reached out to us, asking if they could test it. And at that time, we were like, we're not even sure if we're ready for this. But we just jumped off and we sent them. They asked for 2 products. That was another thing. They wanted 2, not 1. And we're like,
second one's coming soon.
Which is kind of funny looking back, like how silly, like what we weigh then versus what we're weighing now. Yeah. It seems silly. Like, of course you could have 2 now, but anyways, then
But at the time, we just didn't know what we didn't know. And they were an incredible platform for us, really, because everyone who follows them are parents who were exclusively interested in children's toys because they are truly toy testing experts. Right. And that really just launched us.
Yeah. But our favorite. We've had a lot of traction amongst some big names, but my favorite so far is Madison LaCroix from Southern Charm. She put in a raving review.
That's amazing.
And she used it herself, not only her son.
Yes.
But
that's what I was fun to see. I haven't tried it yet. I still need to try it. Okay.
Yeah. So it's why we obviously make it for kids and we're marketing it toward kids, but it can pull
3 miles an hour.
Yeah, well, it's 3 speed settings. So you'd probably want to be on the high speed. Okay. And it can definitely
pull you. A full-grown man.
Yep.
Yes.
Love it.
Our husbands have tested extensively.
Yeah. Sometimes they won't give it back.
But, that's great. I'm definitely buying one then. My 1-year-old's a little too young, but I should get it for myself.
But you'll just have time to break it in.
Yeah, exactly.
And right now we're only selling within the US, but we hope to expand that soon as well, because that was another thing. We've been getting a ton of international requests. Yeah. So that's
something I feel like you don't think about at the start. And then
exactly. We didn't think about it really. And then we've gotten, requests from you pretty much name it in the world, and we've gotten requests from there. So that's also an interesting kind of point to think about with the seasonality of the product here versus elsewhere. And in that vein, we've kind of been shocked as to the northern states really sending it in the summer. We'll have people ordering multiples in states where they can only use it truly for a couple months of the year. But that's even continuing through Christmas sales as well, where we have people ordering in Indiana, Michigan, Montana, you name it.
Yeah.
Swelly's there. Yeah.
That's great to hear. Wow. I mean, we've got it's hopefully we got the Christmas tree in the background. I figured it was the holiday push right now. So tell us how things are going currently with that.
Yeah, thanks for asking. It's a great Christmas gift. And luckily others have seen that also. So the holiday sales have been great. I feel like what we were learning is that September is a very slow retail month, and we felt that. And then we saw it trickle back up in October, and then November till now in December, it's been really great.
Nice.
Keeping up with demand has been fun.
And y'all just went on a trip for supply chain and everything to China, correct?
We did, yeah.
Tell me about that. I mean, that's one of the things I feel like, that's a big jump, and a lot of people were like, can't imagine doing that, going on this journey we're talking about.
Well, for us, we'd been at it for so long that truly it was a matter of we kind of put it off for as long as we could, if that makes sense. So it was kind of time that we went to, meet with people who we'd been talking to for so long, to meet with our manufacturers, and also just as we're working on the future of Swelly, it was definitely time.
And it was everything you can imagine. Two American girls trying to figure things out. Totally different culture and language, obviously. But it was great. From a business perspective, it was extremely successful.
How did that come about? I feel like that's one of people's main questions too. And I feel like it's a rite of passage, with a product like this going over there. But how'd you even find someone to help you manufacture it in the first place? I feel like it's going to be a lot of people's question.
I think that all goes back to just like the research component. And again, it's not anything fun or groundbreaking. It's just the two of us truly starting out at our like kitchen counters, just researching and doing deep dives, and that's what it took to begin with.
Networking is important too. We talked to a lot of people, tried to get as much information as we could.
Right.
Relying on our contacts.
And the reality is, honestly, this is the core of the business, right? Like no one's gonna truly give you their complete playbook.
Right.
But nor did we ever expect anyone to give us our playbook. No. I think if it would have been a disservice, and we're talking about the years of us putting this together, right? Like the building phase. We're so grateful for the people who shared bits and pieces, because we were able to kind of put together at least a bit of a roadmap. The reality is we've made a lot of mistakes and we've learned along the way, but I think those mistakes have now made us we are so much more astute and efficient.
We've just had to learn, and and sometimes it was the hard way, and that is very difficult for me because I'm such a perfectionist, and I only like to learn things I only like to do things the right way, and but we've just had to keep pushing no matter what happens, and just to figure it out, even roadmap or no.
Well, it's funny because that's typically where the learning happens, is when, things don't go well and you figure it out. And it's funny because I do feel like there's many people in business that are pretty secretive and, don't want to give it all away. But I've also had people sit here and they'd be more than happy to give you the full playbook because they think it's hard enough. I can give you the whole playbook and menu. Good luck. I still think it's hard.
Yeah. And you're right. That's a great point, because even if you have a step-by-step guide, how many people are actually going to follow it and put in the work and stick with it? So I understand your point.
We have an intern. He's a Rollins student. He's a MBA.
Nice.
Darsh
is amazing.
Shout out to Darsh.
Shout out Darsh. Nice.
He's a great editor.
Nice.
But we take his role as a intern very seriously also. And we try to make sure we're giving him a lot of tips along the way.
And vice versa. I feel like he's taught us a lot too, in terms of, marketing and social media and the younger audience. So that's been great in terms of when he came on board. And
is he helping with a little bit of everything, or mainly media, you're saying, and marketing?
Mainly our social media and marketing. Yes.
Nice.
That's not, Lindsay's way better at that. She gave me the credit, but that's not, in terms of her creativity and concepts, I can't wait for us to have this crazy marketing budget, for her to just run away.
Fun.
Right.
Because her vision is just so unique and creative, and where she gets her inspiration is so unique, I think. But in the time. But for now, with a limited budget, we're just it's helpful to have someone else who can push that through, so we can focus on the practical stuff and the more tech stuff, I guess.
Definitely.
So how are things? Kind of walk us through the big holiday push, like we talked about. I imagine right now, super busy. What do you see the next year looking like? And also leading into conversations we have right here all the time is dream big. Tell me your craziest dreams and we'll figure out if we can make them work or not. What does 5 years of this brand look like in 10 years? Where do you see this going?
Well, right before we walked in, we actually were sending out a couple texts or feelers for warehouse space. So we're pretty much ready to have our own warehouse.
Locally?
Yes,
okay,
yes,
great.
Ideally, just for convenience, right?
Yeah.
So
we are ready. We just have been trying to do everything, keep it as tight as possible, and we've been storing them in our houses and what have you. So, rather than sending them to Amazon, because we fulfill both, through Shopify and Amazon. But so we're more than ready for a warehouse. We've just been trying to hold out.
That's a literal answer to your question, I guess. Like exactly for actually our next step.
That's the next few months to
we're hoping we can have one tomorrow. Actually.
That'd be huge.
Other than that, I guess in true Taylor Swift fashion, we are branching out to other products, as we sort of alluded to.
Okay.
But thank you for welcoming us onto your podcast. In exchange, we'd like to make an announcement.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, here we go.
So our next product that we will be releasing to our Swelly team, Swelly family, all of our customers, will be a fabulous new pair of children's sunglasses, a line. We're debuting with 5 different unique colors.
And they're called Swellies, as you can see.
I love it already.
So, yes.
I guess there's a void in the market for high performance children's sunglasses. Our children needed them. So we decided to make it. And this is what we came up with as our first concept.
In the release? This is amazing.
Notice this beautiful,
it is beautiful,
premium, refined packaging.
It is.
The idea is too that we wanted it to be a good gift also. So like when you buy it, it'll come packaged nicely and just ready to gift.
I totally see it even with my little 15-month-old. I see the need in the market for sure.
So you will see this is our signature Swelly Gator color. We actually named this color Swelly Gator.
Amazing.
And of course, they're polarized, UVB 400 protection. This is BPA free on the frame.
Yeah.
It's scratch resistant and it's super lightweight. And you'll see a little bendy.
Yeah, so they're great for kids.
Yeah, our kids don't feel like they're wearing anything, and yet it is truly the best quality. So here, have a feel.
Oh, amazing. Thank you. Look at these. These are beautiful. And they are and you got the blue lenses too.
Yeah, all of our colors are
amazing,
really bright and flashy.
Congrats.
Thanks. Yeah. So you'll be seeing these all over shops around town, as well as resorts nationally. And right now, like we're really focusing on working with our partnerships for like I said, small town, boutique towns, like winter parks of the world, pretty much.
Yeah. That's awesome. Congrats, guys. That's beautiful.
You.
How long has that been? When did that idea come? How long has that been in the works?
It's hard to say. I feel like it all kind of blends together as to when we started working on the Swellies, because we've gone through different color variations, and we have gotten different samples that we really liked but didn't necessarily pass muster, didn't pass the kid test, didn't really
let's talk about the kid
live
test.
up to the Swelly brand.
You said it stays on. They don't even notice they're there. I feel like that's huge.
My son was playing, one of the tests we did was he was playing tennis with one and wouldn't take it off and didn't feel like anything was there. And then after he finished playing tennis, it was like barely anything on his face.
I think they're also good testers because if your family is anything like ours, we have an entire drawer full of sunglasses. We have an entire drawer full of koozies. It's just like the Florida outdoor lifestyle that the kids are grabbing sunglasses, but they're just either kind of like the cheapo plastic ones that are, hard and not really bendy, and kids don't really want to keep them on. So we, like Neda said, had really seen a void in the marketplace and thought that it could be filled, especially because, kids don't need to be wearing adult sunglasses, etc. So
Absolutely.
Better to do it than us.
Let me tell you,
I'm excited.
It has been a joy developing these sunglasses.
Yeah.
After bringing Swelly to the market, I feel like anything compared to that is just
that's so true.
easy. I don't want to use the word easy, but it's
comparatively speaking.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So we sort of, and that was, by the way, that was by design. We've had, as Lindsay told you, she had all these crazy ideas. We both did, but we were like, what do we started with the hardest, right?
Yeah.
And then now this is the next, and we do have a few more, but evolving with our designs, because we'll basically be able to offer different variations of our Swelly. I guess I'm just giving you another sneak preview. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is inside information just for you and your listeners.
Yeah.
We will offer different variations of Swelly, so different forces, maybe a little bit more powerful for 2026.
Nice. Yeah.
And we're very excited about that. We've been working on that for some time.
Yeah. Yeah. So just
along with Swelly inflatables, which we've kind of teased a bit on our website.
I saw that. Yeah.
But the fact it is truly unique that our handle on our Swelly detaches and can become a remote handle such that the Swelly itself can attach to an inflatable, such as a child-sized pedalboard or what have you, and can be controlled as a motor. So that's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that with us. That was great. I'm excited.
Our little swimmers, they could definitely use these. It's sort of, and it also it's on brand. That was important for us to make sure everything's on brand and things that our family would appreciate and love.
One of the big themes we wind up always talking about is our love for Orlando and Winter Park in Central Florida. That's one of the reasons why y'all are here in person, is because that's one of our rules, and you have to have a tie here and be in person and very focused on community. But all that to say, why is this a great place to own and start a business?
So for me, I grew up in Winter Park. And then, as I mentioned, I went to undergrad and law school at UF. And then I met my husband, David, who's from Jacksonville. And we both had kind of a battle on where to end up. But I think there was no other option for me. I mean, ultimately, I probably would have done it. But I mean, when he came here and sort of realized the community, it was a sell for my husband as well. But being able to raise kids in Winter Park, where it just seems like everyone is ultimately interconnected. And even if you're a transplant, you become connected so fast because the people that are from here want to help the people that aren't from here. And so you become interconnected almost immediately. The community is just so incredible. People actually want to help. I also love how it's sort of all different cultures. Like, so from us, we're Persian. My husband's half, but there is a strong Persian community amongst all the people in Winter Park that not too many people know about. I guess from a business perspective too, Winter Park is our target demographic, essentially towns so that's a natural pro.
And we've been, I will say, so fortunate because, I'm from the Midwest originally, but I've been down here for quite some time now. And we've been so fortunate to have friends come and support us. We did like a family of friends launch party, and it made so much sense to launch this sort of product in this sort of place, surrounded by this sort of people, I think.
It's also a very entrepreneurial town. I don't know if you've noticed that.
Right.
I mean, I guess we haven't really had to be in this sector quite yet, but the amount of help and support we've gotten from business owners in the community has been just amazing for us.
Right. And it's got, the community and family aspect, which is obviously big for y'all's brand, but also all the resources of a bigger city are right here too. You don't have to travel to get some bigger city resources with a small town feel.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Early on, my babysitter, she was a Rollins graduate, and she came up to me. She's like, let me know if you need help with Swelly. We have a incubation program at Rollins that I would love to help connect you with. And so that's type of example always seems to be happening.
That's
so
cool.
We're grateful for that.
This seems very much like a Shark Tank product. This may or may not happen in the future. We'll leave it at that maybe, unless y'all have any information for us. But I was thinking, the big question too is this a Shark Tank product, but also they always want to ask, do you want to go into retail or do you want to stay online? That's their big question. It feels like the last couple seasons.
Well, I will go ahead and say knock on wood, because we would love to be on Shark Tank at some point. And it's funny that you say that, because we've heard that a lot. So maybe it's a sign of things to come. At one point, we did record a spoof with our kids of the kids being the sharks, which was pretty hilarious and was one of the things my kids loved recording the most, because they loved being, you know, kind of the tough sharks and asking us the questions. We would love to get into retail. Those are definitely next steps for us. In the meantime, we're selling online, and we realize that it's not without hard work, but we feel confident in that our teamwork, I think, can get us there, and that's the goal. We really do. We want to be an internationally known
family
brand.
Lifestyle brand.
Yeah. I think there's clearly a place in the market for it, and keep adding innovative products like that, and getting, you know, I think just, you know, that's why I wanted y'all to talk about your story today as well, and people to get to know y'all as moms and entrepreneurs, and so they can relate and feel comfortable and trust and know, like, and trust your brand and story. So I appreciate y'all stopping by.
Thank you.
We sure hope so. And it's been a journey, but I think that we're just beginning, really, in terms of where we want to go.